Right, the general rule is when you're painting a ceiling, it's always a matte paint. Just plain matte mulching. You can't wash it, that's the problem with matte. That's why when we're doing walls, we go to either, you see here, that's vinyl soft sheen, or it could be matte sheen. You can give it a light rub with a soapy cloth if it gets marked. Both of these paints, your equipment can be washed out in water, soapy water, dried off, friendly, and go down to the undercoat and the gloss. This is a water-based undercoat, same thing. Brushes and equipment can be washed out with soapy water. Environmentally friendly. People are moving away from oil-based paints. This is the newer version of gloss finishes now. Same here. The gloss can be washed out with soapy water, and it doesn't do. It's very environmentally friendly and stays white as well. You know, it's good paint.
Right, on new plaster, a lot of people say, how do I paint new plaster? The first thing you've got to do, you've got to seal the plaster with a matte paint. This matte here will do the job. You just thin it down with about 20% water, roll it on. What you're doing is you're letting the walls soak in. This seals the walls off for you then just your vinyl paint on. If you don't put a mist coat on it, a sealer, the other paint won't adhere well and it will peel off. And we're not doing any radiators today, but you can do your radiators with this gloss, water-based gloss, or you can buy enamel paint for radiators, whichever you prefer.
Ready now, we've got the ceilings all sanded down and dusted off. All you need is a sculptor with some paint in it, a wee pot, a standard brush, just an all-purpose brush, 9-inch roller, medium pile, an extension pole, and that's you ready to do your ceilings. Right, the first thing we'll do is we'll cut on the ceiling. Load up your brush, not too much, no. Right onto the wall. Don't worry about getting a wee bit of paint on the wall because you're going to be painting the wall anyway. Just get up on your brush. Cut it on maybe 2-3 inches out from the wall. Right. And we've got, as you see, we've got light fitting here. Along the edge. Smooth it out. Make sure you leave no brush mark. Right, the ceiling's cut on now, ready for rolling. So we're just going to start rolling the ceiling now. So it's a matter of just getting your brush, your roller and your paint ready. Dip your roller in, rub it against the edges so you don't have too much paint on it, and then just start rolling the ceiling. Take your time with it, there's no rush. Back and forward. And rolling tight, the cutting on around you like something. Well, when you're rolling, it's important, enough pressure to cover the ceiling, but not too much pressure, and don't roll too fast, because if you roll too fast, you'll get an awful lot of overspray off it. So just nice and easy, tip your roller, come up. And don't worry if it doesn't look, it's not covering, because you may have to give it a second coat. But if that's what it takes, then just continue on. Keep going in the same direction. And if you shouldn't have, if you don't have an extension pole, you can just paint with the roller off a step ladder. But as I said before, they're relatively inexpensive. You don't have to have hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of equipment to paint your room. A few brushes, a roller, a pole, trays to put your paint into. That's basically your room, that's your equipment for your room. And between coats, just put your roller into a plastic bag, wrap it around. That'll keep your roller fresh and soft to use it again. Right, now we've gone into the wall colour around, as soon as you're dry, same as before, dip on your brush into your pot of paint, excess off, just go up, nice and gently, bring your brush up onto the joint of the ceiling and the wall, and move your brush along in a nice steady line. As I said before, it will probably take 2 coats to cover the wall anyway, so if it looks a wee bit streaky, don't panic, because you're going to give it another coat of paint anyway. just along the edge of the ceiling. Bring your brush along, take any brush strokes out of it. Right now we'll come to roll the wall. It's ready to be cut on. You don't have to put too much pressure in the roller. Okay, nice even coat on it the whole way through. Right, we're ready now to give it a second coat here. Just get a fine pad and heat a wee rub. Right, as before, now we're doing the second coat. Just cut it on the same way. We've it cut on now, so the second coat went on just the same as the first. Right, before we put the final coat of gloss on, get a medium pad or medium sandpaper. Nice wee rub, just to take any wee lines or any wee bumps and wee bits of grit. And also it gives you a key for your top coat of paint, and then just clean it off, making sure you clean down the bottom as well. That's you ready for your final coat. Right, and when you're ready to finish off your skirtings, if you wish, if you're on top of a tile floor or a wooden floor, if you feel more comfortable, just run a bit of tape on it. And also when you're doing carpet, it's a good idea to do it on carpet, a bit of tape, because the hairs of the carpet can rise up and go onto your finished woodwork. We've obviously sanded and prepared and undercoated this timber. Now it's ready for the finishing coat. You don't have to tape up, but if you feel more confident, tape it up. Right, now we're going to undercoat, or we're going to gloss the timber now. An inch brush, inch and a half is big enough to handle for this here. Just go to the top of it, just go on, and nice and tight into the wall. And smooth it out, and make sure there's no room to it. And the same when you're doing in the bottom, using your brush, down, nice and tight. And brush out any brush strokes. The very same when you're doing the architrave, the brush on.